Hey everyone, we're going to talk a little bit about the concept of resonance, and I'm going to show you a video in a second so we can look more in detail about what's really going on there. But essentially, what's going on is this is a very interesting phenomenon to understand if you really want to understand physical things and energy, especially energy as it interacts with these physical things. Okay, the most classic example of resonance would be a piano. You know, you play a piano and other strings that are in resonance with the strings that you're playing start vibrating even though you're not touching them. The energy, sound waves are going there and they're moving them, but other strings aren't moving at all. I've done that with my piano and you could see it, you could hear it, you could actually touch the strings and see that some of them are vibrating, some of them aren't. And because they're in resonance. Another great example is the wine glass we're going to see. The wine glass breaking. And I'm going to talk about why it's breaking. So let's not waste any more time and let's get to watching the video here.
Shockwaves from a punch can do damage to the human body. Now we're in a time warp at 10,000 frames per second to see how sound waves destroy glass. Jamie Vandera is famous for using the sound of his voice to destroy wine glasses. They seem to simply explode. But what's happening?
I know the sound waves broke the glass, but I couldn't see how. So I'm going to use our slow motion camera to see what we were missing. Instead of singing, I'm going to use a speaker and a tone generator. I have to find the natural vibrating frequency of the glass. I have to match this tone. That's it.
This is the exact tone to make this particular glass vibrate. When the tone is loud enough, the glass will shatter.
I can feel the glass shaking, but I can't see it. If I add a straw, then it's more obvious.
So what's happening here? The straw gets tossed side to side, but I can't see why.
Let's record it while I crank the volume.
And we're going to watch it break in a second. Spoiler. Oh, what happened? Okay, so I'm going to pause the video now. Okay, what's going on here? Well, so I'm going to give you a theory, and you're going to have to... See, a lot of times you see these videos, and they say the phenomenon, they give you the principle, but they don't really explain what's really going on at this deeper level. Well, what's going on is this. Everything has an efficiency rate. That if energy enters that system at that specific rate, energy stays in that system way more efficiently. It moves around more efficiently so it doesn't get lost. Example, you're pushing a little kid on a swing, okay? And the timing that you do it at makes a huge difference. Because if you were to do it a little bit faster, a little bit slower, like the timing wasn't right, what would happen? When they were coming towards you, you would push and you would slow them down, right? Or if you were pushing them slower than they were going away from you, you would lose energy. You wouldn't be pushing them at the time where you're getting maximum impact. So they wouldn't go as high up, right? The energy is getting lost. So one of them is you're blocking the flow of the energy that's already there. The other one is you're putting energy in, but you're not getting, let's say you're getting 90% out of it, or 70% or 60%. So when something you hit at resonance, it's the right timing. The timing is right, okay? Because it has its own internal energy that it's moving with. Everything is energy, right? Everything is moving. Nothing is static. So if everything is moving, everything has its own internal energy. Everything has its own frequency, right? So the wine glass has a frequency, and when you hit it with the right energy, the right frequency, what will happen is energy does not escape as efficiently. So it's moving in there, and it's building up. And it builds up, it builds up, and it builds up, and two things have to happen, okay? Either the energy has to escape somehow, or three things probably. The input has to stop, and the energy will eventually dissipate, or the system will have to break. Now, in physical products, you know, like glasses, cars, engines, things like that, what happens when you pump in more energy, it has to break down. That's what it hits. It hits a breaking point. And that's what you're seeing right there. But with biological systems, usually what will happen is if the energy is not to the point where it'll break it down, like for example, if you shoot someone, the energy is overwhelming, they do break down. But let's say the energy coming towards someone is something that they can adapt to. They get stronger from it. They adapt to it. It's called adaptation, right? The stress response. So we're dealing with two different things, but it's really interesting to understand this phenomenon of resonance and optimal efficiency. I mean, I don't see why not. You know, I don't see why we couldn't use this to break down water and all sorts of other byproducts like trash and things like that, using the principles of resonance to break things down into a finer level. I mean, we use the same phenomenon to do cavitation with ultrasound. You know, ultrasound will make a cavitation bubble in water. You know, and if we can harness some of the energy from cavitation, we're definitely. I know for sure that you're actually getting more energy out of cavitation than you're putting in if it's done right. So there's a lot of applications for this principle. It's just whenever you're learning, you just kind of skim over it and then you just forget about it in physics class or some kind of theory class in science, you know. So I hope that helps. And the basic principle to understand is that energy is not escaping. And you're hitting a point where energy is efficiently moving through that system. And it's not escaping, it's building up and it's breaking the structure down.